My name is Mecail Martin. I'm from Eden, North Carolina. I'm a visually impaired student from North Carolina A&T State University in Greensboro, North Carolina. Today I am here with Dr. Iset Anuakan. May I shake your hand, please?
Yes, you may.
Nice to meet you.
Good.
Today I want to speak to you about, actually introduce you into the world about your poetry.
Okay.
And so, what made you want to start writing poetry?
That's a great question. Thank you, Mecail. It's so nice to not only meet you, but have a chance to work with you and to see all that a person who's, studying journalism yet visually impaired for the moment. We know that can change. To answer your question, I started very young. I was probably younger than you. I was a junior in college or sophomore with a free summer. Had no work. Plus, I was not trying to do more than be prepared for school. So I was staying at my parents' house, my mom's. I remember being on the living room floor. I was listening to music. My first poem was called We Are Jazz. It was dedicated to my uncle, who was a jazz musician, who had played, his name was Julian. He had played with Cannonball Adderley, whose name was also Julian Cannonball Adderley. I wrote this poem and people liked it. It was fun. It started off, we bump rhythms with a stick. We float tunes to feed the flute. It was, again, I was quite young, so I don't have that poem even in front of me. It's out of print currently, but I was maybe 19.
Okay. 19. So one of your...
And the answer to your question is music inspired me to write poetry.
Yeah. But one of your works that I came across, and it's called Wild Poems. So my question
that is the latest title that I've published. I just recently published that earlier this year, and it's a collection of poems that is, I think there's about 50 pages of musings that have much more to do with my life at this time in my later years. I'm not a 20-year-old anymore. I'm in my 50s. So these poems are about observations that I've gathered in the last maybe 7 or 8 years.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the other reason they're called wow poems, because
it is wow.
we
And
live
the
in a
name
wow
of it too.
world.
Wow.
Wow. Yes.
Wow. Okay. So exactly what generation, speaking of age, would you prefer that people would read or enjoy to read your poetry?
That is a hard question, because I'm not sure poetry is an age-specific kind of art form. Just like some people are driven to love music. Others, I think, might prefer paintings, going into museums. Poetry is verse, and by verse I mean it is read for the ear. It is to be appreciated, not in the same way, for instance, that you would read a novel or a document. But poetry often is, in my view, I want to reference music because I dedicate my poems to the spirit of what I call the DJ. And I think Nina Simone, who was a famous, very well-known, she was from North Carolina, Nina Simone really indicated that the verse in certainly her art, her music, her lyrics, was about casting a spell. I often talk about spelling indicate in my poetry that something is spelled differently. It occurred to me that is how we draw people in, that people become curious. So even the title Wow is not the name of the book solely. WOW is an acronym using the first letters of the actual title of the book. So to answer your question,